All right, everybody. Arieshia, you ready?
Yep.
Hey, this is Veronica.
This is Andy.
Cheers, this is Cheryl.
Howdy, this is Dalton, and this is Logging into UKG, a Chicago Users production.
Your favorite podcast for all things HCM by HCM admins for HCM admins. Woo!
Ooh, getting a little fancy there this time, Andy.
I think it
Pushing
was
up.
the mustache.
It's the stash.
It's the yes.
It's
it
gotta
is.
be.
Yeah.
For those of you who obviously aren't on here recording it and can't see Andy's wonderful face, he is rocking the Tom Selleck Magnum PI mustache here. It's looking pretty dope.
I'm feeling like this is going to be the face of our podcast episode, Andy's face.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect.
Yes. Yep. I think he did that on purpose. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
The mustache has spoken and it is decided.
Perfect.
Love it.
Well, with that, happy 2025, everybody. This is our first podcast of the year, and we're kicking it off today with a very special guest. With us today, we have Arieshia Williams, all the way over from the West Coast. Arieshia, welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. My name is Arieshia. I'm the director of HRIS at Evergreen Healthcare, and I'm excited to be here.
Arieshia, let us. Can you tell us a little?
She started saying she had a whole like Beyonce UKG.
Do you want to hear the real?
We do want to hear it.
Yeah.
So
So
you
now
gotta be
listeners,
authentic here.
Bring it
Yeah.
back. Tell
Bring
us
it. Yep.
what
Okay,
you said.
Rewind.
listen. Okay, listen.
let's try this again. Arieshia,
My
would you like to
name-
introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Arieshia. I'm the Queen Beyonce of UKG. They all know me very well. If you haven't heard my name, you'll know it now. How about that?
Basically, she
Perfect.
said Cheryl and I are the
There you
Michelle
go.
and Kelly because she's the Beyonce. And then these are the Temptations or David. I don't know who they are back there.
Clearly.
I mean, with that mustache, Andrew, you and I can be the Temptations.
That's fine. I was thinking more of like you and I were Charlie and you guys are our angels.
Oh,
Aw.
always trying to
Thank
be
you.
So sweet.
I
Yes.
like that one.
All right. You win. We'll let you have that one, Andy.
So, why is Arieshia here with us today, everybody? What are we talking about?
Because she's awesome.
She
I
had
was
the
gonna say, I already
enthusiasm.
said.
Yes.
She's not just
I'm the
Beyonce,
queen.
but she also knows her stuff on UKG.
Mhm.
And I think she's here to enlighten our audience on the world that she lives in, plays in all the time, and is super excited about, which is adoption.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
I'm hoping that we're going to get under the curtain. I'm hoping we're going to get some really cool tips and tricks from your perspective. And I'm sure everyone's got some adoption stories to kind of plug and play of their own. But I guess who do we want to go through first? We want to Dalton. I know you've always got good questions.
Yeah, I mean, I think let's just start off nice and simple, though. Arieshia, you told us that user adoption is really near and dear to your heart, that you're really good at it. Let's just go ahead and give like the big overview for those people who are listening for the first time, who are like, what is user adoption? Let's just start there for folks.
Yeah, I love that. So the black and white is simple. Getting employees, getting users to use the technology or the new functionality, whatever system you're rolling out, whatever new feature you're giving them during an implementation, after the follow-up, getting them to use it. Very clear and simple. That is the black and white. My take, which I'm passionate about, is the out of the box. I love doing things that are abnormal, that are a little bit fun, a little bit different, because I have found that it works best for me and for my users.
How long have you been playing in this space? How long have you been really, refining the different ways that you're determining how user adoption works?
So we've been doing this, we've been in the system. We went live with a legacy UKG Dimensions. I guess, yeah, UKG Dimensions, right? We went live in 2020. So I've really been, I did the black and white. I did, here's what this is. Let's see if it works type of thing. And then from that point, I was like, oh, let's tailor this. Let's tailor that. Let's tailor this. So what, about 5 years? About 5 years now?
Okay.
How did that all come about and how was it adopted, especially right before COVID hitting?
I'll tell you what, COVID threw a wrench in everything because we are in the business of skilled nursing assisted living facilities. So COVID sent everybody home and everybody had COVID and we were in smack dab in the middle of our implementation. So it changed everything. We flew people out for a big group training sessions during the week, and then everything we taught was forgotten or changed. So we had to tailor everything. COVID made a big difference.
I was
So
gonna
are
say,
you? Oh, go for it, Cheryl.
oh no, I was gonna say I have the privilege of seeing some of the things that you've come up with. Out of the last 5 years, what would you say is your favorite activity that you did to get people engaged?
So my favorite and most out of my comfort zone was going live on Facebook. I think that I had to like really like pump myself up for that one. We have a company Facebook group, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to use this to my benefit, and I'm going to see if maybe it would work, right? And so let's use social media to our advantage. So I just kind of posted let's do this. I have something coming. I need you guys on live at this time, this date, and I'm going to show you something. And I just went live on Facebook, and that was probably the most like dramatic thing that I've done.
Nice.
Nice, yeah.
Like, yeah.
For all this talk of user adoption, are you telling me it's not as simple as telling our users, hey, this is going to make your life better. Here you go. Thank you so much. I'll see you online.
When I tell you, I wish it was. I wish it was. They always say
True.
like, oh, implementations are so hard. Listen, the user adoption phase is the hardest phase because it's always happening. There's always something you have to get people to do different, to do better, to drop the papers. Please drop the papers. Put the papers down. And
Yeah.
so it's ongoing is the hardest part.
So real world scenario. So you've had this
Mhm.
pie in the sky idea, this Facebook Live that you didn't know how it would go off, but it went off without a hitch. So flip
Yeah.
that on its head. What was the worst experience you had trying to roll something out and getting adoption? I want to hear, everybody needs to know the bad, and then always
That's fair.
they want to
Yeah.
know, how do you come out of that? Because it seems like
Yeah.
face.
We are looking for the horror stories.
Right. I'm like, well, actually, there was a moment in those lives that was like really awkward that I've been thinking about. And I'm just like, I don't know why we did that or what happened there. But, I went live about 10 days. It was like a solid, 2 weeks of business days that I went live just randomly. Right. And I went live, I would go to I'd be at one of our nursing homes, and it was mid, like N95 masks. And I literally had an N95 on with the cover on. And I was like going live at the nursing facility, which was crazy. But at one moment we had another initiative. And the one thing about me is I'm strategic, right? And so I'm looking for how can I tie in what I need, maybe what the company needs for user adoption, and roll out a strategy. So we had the clinical team had something they were trying to kind of talk about. And so they were like, let's partner together and let's go live together and do like a chat and then giveaway stuff. Like, how fun would that be? So we go live, and the clinician joining had like a hat on, like a dunce hat or like a clown hat or like some like costume piece that I was not expecting. And so we go live, and I'm immediately like, what is that?
Andy's mustache to me.
Exactly. Like it was like, and it was so awkward because I was thinking about that the whole time. We were on live, so I had to be like on live, and then we were going back and forth, and the content didn't match the hat. Love her to death, but I'm like, the content didn't match. Like it did not make sense. So that was very awkward. We got the same feedback, but it was just strange,
Yeah.
So even when the good stuff is good, there's still some awkward that might be in there. But I will say, one thing that my poor team, over the years, I have literally tried to make them do so many things, and they are not me. Like they're an extension of me. They're an extension of me, like technology wise, but not personality wise. So like if I'm thinking, let's do this, they're like, is that what we're doing? And so I had this fabulous idea, you guys. I thought it was everything. Happy hour with Chronos support. Because we were legacy Kronos. My team is HRIS support now, but we were Kronos support back then. And I was like, let's do a virtual happy hour. How fun would that be? And we're just going to go on and be like on Zoom for 2 hours and see if anybody joins that needs help with their UKG software.
Nice.
And so my
How
team
did
was like,
that go? Yeah, that's very creative.
It went bad
Yeah.
because I feel like she's leading up to it.
Is that not
I know. I
a
want to
good
hear the
idea?
story. Yeah.
Well,
I swear to you, I was like, this is the best idea I've ever had. We're doing a happy hour.
where did it tank? I needed it tanked somewhere.
Not a single person showed up. And so it was my poor team with their babies. Okay. Like they had kids. Okay. And me. And we were just sitting there talking to each other.
So what
How
was
did they go?
What was the lesson learned? Why do you think you didn't get the traffic or people didn't show? Or is it because you guys were Chronos? Is it support? It's like,
Well, they knew us as Chrono Support, because that was the legacy version, So we were Chrono Support. We support everybody in the company. I was the one going live on Facebook. Like, they knew my name, they knew what we did, and it was kind of after that implementation phase where there were still like random, people we could be supporting. So I was like, well, maybe we'll just do it like after hours, and it'll be like they can join, maybe like in between shifts or whatever the case. And we don't have the best at that time. We didn't have the best communication method, and Facebook was like, okay, let's use social media. And that was my thought process, right? And I even did flyers, y'all. I did flyers, and I sent out flyers for them to post them by the time clocks and all that stuff. And I was like, happy hour pro support, like, but it wasn't like promoted to have like liquor. It was more like bring your favorite coffee or smoothie, because I wanted to be a little HR specific. And so that's why I did it.
Did you just raise your hand on a
He did.
I didn't want to interrupt.
I was like, Andrew has a
podcast recording?
Well, see, now I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to jump in. So did you have swag that you're giving away? Because I noticed a lot of things you gave away swag. Was that maybe after that you decided swag's the key?
No, I did swag before that. This was like a random,
okay,
just out of the box, let's try this. And I did not have swag for this one. It was just more like, I wanted to, one of my goals is making me personable, making my team personable, right? I don't want to be the director of HRIS to everybody. I don't want to be the HR lady to everybody. I want to just be Arieshia. And so I was like, let's have happy hour.
So just Arieshia,
you're not gonna let Andy?
I'm jumping right in. and if you're gonna raise your hand on the podcast where people can't see you, I'm gonna cut right in.
That's what I did. Fair. Go for it, Dalton.
So it sounds like certain things work, certain things don't, and I'm guessing it'll just go ahead and depend 100. Yeah, I'm gonna Andy.
I'm gonna give you a high five. Let
that man ask his question.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Continue.
Okay, good. I will. Obviously, it'll go ahead and depend on who's doing the rollout, who the target audience is, et cetera, et cetera. But do you have maybe like a top 3, top 5, like just quick like tips or things to keep in mind for our listeners where they're like, hey, if I'm starting a user adoption, what's a good like jump off? What's a good something you want them to know?
Yeah, I do actually. I think I'm going to highlight, since we're raw and uncut, I'm going to say keep it simple, keep it sexy, okay? Let it be something they're going to want to look at, okay? And that is my top headliner. That's what you need to do. Like just giving documentation or like I'm going to use black and white, because UKG, their user adoption team gives great resources, but for me, I had to make it sexy. Like I had to pump it up a little bit to get people to actually look at it, right? So that's going to be my number one. Number 2 is strategy, right? And this I think goes along whether you're in an implementation, a migration, a random functionality, maybe you're rolling out scheduling at one location, right? What is the strategy? What do you need done that you can get them to do because you need it done? Right. And so I always think about the company's needs, what I need, whether it's when we moved into the new system, we moved from legacy Chronos to Dimensions. We needed updated EEO information, the demographic information, gender, all that stuff. So I needed that. So I did a contest and I rolled it out and I just said, whoever does this gets to go into a drawing to win this. And so I just made it a part of what I need. So strategy and leadership buy-in is always going to be in there. I don't think mine are in order all the way, but I'm going to say leadership buy-in is so important, you guys, because I can talk, and I can be the Queen Beyonce, but I need like Kelly and I need Michelle. And that's where I see my leaders when it comes to this. Sure. Because I'm like, I really need them to support me so that we can get these things out. If you don't have leadership buy-in, then it's much harder to make an impact. That's 3, right? Do we want more?
Yeah, I mean,
you could give
I could
more
talk all day.
Yeah, absolutely give more, right?
Yeah, and so those things, and then also I think people love things, and so when I think of a creative strategy, I think about what might they want, what could they want in order to do what I need them to do, and whether that be over the years, I've done simple things like if everybody does this, the winning location gets $5 Starbucks gift cards. And then what was super dope about it was after the winners were announced, I just emailed them their $5 gift cards, and I made it a point to say, because they did what I asked them to and their information is updated, they already have their gift cards. I don't have to mail them. I don't have to drop them off. It's already done. And so giving them something makes a big difference. It doesn't have to be swag. I love swag. I think like my demographic of employees love swag, and that's why I live for it. Like nurses, they love it, like pins and cups and all that stuff.
A lot of clinical staff, same.
Yeah, they just love it, and so I'm like, I'm here for it, and I love seeing the UKG swag like throughout the buildings. But it doesn't have to be that, right? It could be like a barbecue or a Chipotle lunch if you guys do this, or it could be we just recently gave away PTO. So it could be just something simple. It doesn't have to be what Arieshia does, right? Just something. But I think that strategy in use makes a difference, because you're not just asking them to do something. And I oftentimes think they think, what's in it for me?
That is what they think. I don't think that's often. I think
what's
in it for me is kind of like the tagline. Like, what do I really have a question, but I'm going to let Andy go because his hand was up 7 times. I feel maybe times
the lucky 7. He can talk now. Lucky 7.
7, but it felt like 7. Go ahead, Andy.
I took it down because Dalton read my mind as to the question that I was going to ask.
I saw that face.
But as I was going through, I thought of something else here. So for our listeners that may not know what user adoption is, and I'm guessing a lot of them probably do, but what is your definition of user adoption, and what did you try to accomplish with everything that you put forward for your teams out there? Like, what was your end goal of everything that you put together?
So the end goal always changes. I'm always in user adoption strategy mode, and it just depends on what I'm doing. And if I'm just defining user adoption, I'm simply going to say getting them to do what I need them to do.
Okay.
That is my definition of user adoption. And so
I'm telling you user adoption with my wife, so I guess we're in the same boat.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what do you need her to do? So we could talk strategy. And so that's really what it is, honestly. And it always changes. My end goal always changes. I just did, it just depends on what I need, right? Like, we migrated from the Dimensions app to the Pro app. And it was like a big deal for our employees because they had to remove the old one, download the new one, put in the access code, and sometimes things don't work the way we want them to work. And so I had to figure out how to make it seem like this was a great thing for us, even though it was a frustrating thing because now we have to do this again, And so I had to use almost like positive affirmations. And then I have to like strategically, it's almost like a mind game a little bit to like try to make it work in my favor to get us where we need to go. And then along the way, I use tips and I use like tricks, like little things, whether it is like clickbait. I partnered with my marketing team to do some super cute clickbait, like literally like those. Do you guys say GIFs or GIFs? What do you guys say? GIFs or GIFs?
GIFs. I don't know.
GIFs. Yeah.
Is it GIFs?
GIFs is the word I'm looking for. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So
GIFs
I had
is
them
the
like
peanut butter. GIFs is the electronic formatting.
Okay, so here we go. So I basically had them create things for me that would be like, it would shoot out on a text message, but then they would see like this like cute little dog or something. I think one of them was like, it was like a gangster dog, like with chains and sunglasses and like gold. And it said, "Who let the pro out? Who?" And I was like, listen, I would click that, right? And so I just create these little moments to get where I need to go. I don't know if that answered your question, but it's always a different end goal.
Okay.
So two questions, and you made me think of something on that one. So you had some tips and tricks, which I think are fantastic. But my first question is, for companies that don't have large budgets, don't have marketing teams, what are low cost to no cost ideas that they can use without having to break the bank or go through some chain of command? And secondarily, company like myself, where if you click on clickbait, you're going to be in somebody's office.
Right. IT's all over you. I was thinking of that too.
Like,
yes.
Clickbait.
Okay, listen.
Time
You
out.
better hit the fix button.
Right.
Like, what are ideas that when you think about all the crazy things that companies say, we don't have the budget for that, we can't afford that, or we don't want you sending out random things to people we don't know and that's not their phone. Like what are some other ideas for companies that maybe have some internal struggles, but they still want to be able to, push out user adoption?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm going to start with the clickbait question because, okay, so I said clickbait because that's like, I'm a millennial. Like, that's the word I wanted.
Yep.
But it's like, we use a system called CareFeed for communication because our frontline staff, they don't have emails. So we use CareFeed, and it basically, there's an integration that I built to run from UKG to CareFeed, and it'll just like, it has their emails and their phone numbers, right? And so whenever we create something through CareFeed, they'll just get it and they kind of know it's the same number. So it's not necessarily clickbait, quote unquote.
Like UKG Talk, or if you've got a Beekeeper or some other app.
Exactly. Yes.
The UKG mobile app. You're just basically.
Yes. So whatever communication method you're using, that's what I would recommend. So I guess IT wasn't mad at me. Okay. but once they clicked it, it was like, what is this? What's this cute little dog doing? It was like, it was readable because it was like clickbait. So the other thing is, and I'm going to tie it back to strategy again, right? Because let me first start with this. And I don't have a partnership with Canva, but I'm going to say Canva is like one of the cheapest way you can build content for free if you just have the regular subscription, right? So you don't have to pay for it. Canva is so dope. And you can use that to create so many things on your own. I love my marketing team. You don't need a marketing team. Okay. So I use Canva. That is like my go-to on a regular basis. I partnered with my marketing team just because they're amazing. And I just felt like I really wanted to go out with a bang on a few things. When it comes to low cost, low budget, maybe leadership says, we don't need this. That's where strategy comes into play. And you think about business processes, the company's needs, and how what you need could do the company better, right? So just think about how you can tie all of those things in together and then come up with like a business proposal or a business plan. But that also is where your reports to manager comes into place. Excuse me. So like my boss is always supportive of my crazy ideas, right? And so even if it is a little bit out of the box, I have a reason and I can explain that to her, and then it makes sense. So make it make sense to your leaders, and then if you have that person who's supporting you, they can help make it make sense to their leaders.
Smart.
Right. Yeah. So question. Oh, sorry.
You didn't raise your hand.
I'm raising both hands. It's all right. So sticking with the IT clickbait theme, how often would you recommend people run these without them feeling spammed, right? Where they're paying attention to it. Yeah. They're not disregard. It's too much.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I have 2 horror stories about this. Because I'm going to go back to the implementation. I was very hands-on with my implementation. It was more like I did all my, it was back when it was Knowledge Map Live. I did all of my, and so I did all my training up to date, and all of a sudden I low-key was like, I knew more than my consultants, and I was like, let's do this. So I said, I'm going to do the work, and then you guys can check my work. And then I was doing something with direct deposits. I was testing the workflow for direct deposit updates. You go in, you update your direct deposit. There's a workflow that says, hey, you just updated your direct deposit. Cool. It did not work the way that I expected it to. And I swear it was because they told me to do it this way. And I did, and it was not correct. And so what happened was, like, all of a sudden, everybody got a blast email that said, hey, thanks for updating your direct deposit. We appreciate it.
Oh, no. Mass panic.
Like, honestly, yes. Everybody was freaking out. They were emailing the CEO. They were emailing my boss. They were emailing everybody. I was like, and so I had to, like, go back and, like, oh, we were just testing. Oh, isn't this fun in the future? Opportunity to update your direct deposit? Like, so I had to, like,
you basically gaslit them. You gaslit them. Hey, this is amazing that you wanted to do this.
I did. Did you all see what just happened? And I was like, I tried to turn it into something more powerful than it was. And then the other thing, that was spam, clearly, but that was during implementation. The other thing was we migrated, or I guess we got rid of a company and we started using UKG Wallet. Okay. And so when I had this strategy with UKG Wallet and like our go live day, and then like my marketing team was going to send out communication via care feed, like I was telling you about, and I had it all strategically lined up because I'm very like, I'm ready to go. Like I have everything lined up. There's a schedule for everything. I'm in order. I'm ready. Like I will set an email on a schedule to go out tomorrow at 8 a.m. I'll be ready. So it was time for us to go live, and like email, like a text went out, but the wallet wasn't ready. So it was like the text went out. Everybody's clicking the text, trying to get into the wallet. It wasn't ready. And then there was something on our communication platform that wasn't right. So then it tried to send it again. And then it tried to send it again. And then it tried to send it again. So it went out like 5-6 times and the wallet wasn't ready. So in the meantime, I'm like, what is going on? What's going on? Let's get the wallet going, because people are clicking, trying to get in, but they can't get in. And we keep sending, telling them it's ready. And so it just kept going. So then in that moment, it must have went out like 7 times before the wallet was ready. And I was like mortified. Even though it was not me, I was mortified because people were emailing my boss, they were emailing her boss, and they were like, how do I unsubscribe from these messages? And they were so mad. So it was definitely spam. I mean, even like my IT department was like, how do I change my phone number in UKG to make sure I don't get messages like this? Because I don't want any more. Are these real? And so there is such a thing as too much, right? So when I roll out these things, I have this last one we did like a calendar where it's like very strategic. On these days, this is going to go out.
Smart.
On these days, this. Mm-hmm. And then we space them out and we make it work the right way. And then we even kind of plan what content is going out, right? Because you don't want to do too much. But then sometimes I use like leaderboards. I want to see which locations work, doing the best, which employee is on top, who's winning. And so when I use those leaderboards, I still have to be mindful of not sending out too much information because I don't want to annoy them, but just enough, right? And so there is such a thing as too much, folks. But you just have to be strategic. I think that really should be, I'm Queen Beyonce. That's really my name.
That's more than 25 characters, though, so it probably won't fit as a job title. You're going to have to use the alt job title in UKG for that. But yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Arieshia Williams works just fine.
Yes.
I'll throw that out.
It's equivalent, really.
I wanted to throw out a little helpful hint that I found working at a nonprofit that sort of ties in. Veronica, you asked earlier about what do you do if you don't have the budget for swag? And I will say, at a nonprofit, something that I found works really well is you have benefit vendors, and they love to get their name out there, and they all have different swag. So if you anyone can do that, but especially as a nonprofit, if you reach out and what you have is maybe tax deductible for any donations to your company. Hey, we have a partnership with you, such and such medical insurance. We'd love to just go ahead and, if you guys have like mugs or cups or plushies or something that you want to send, and then they send it to you for free, and then you have swag for your company.
I love that idea.
You brought it up. UKG does that. We did an HR conference last year. They'll do notebooks. They've done all kinds of things. You just have to ask your representative if they've got anything. And you got to think about all the stuff that they probably have at the conference that's kind of outdated, right? Because it doesn't really, and so they're always usually willing. So I think that's a really good one, Dalton. I hadn't even thought about it, that reaching out to the vendors that you support with. I did get a vendor shirt from a vendor I don't have, but they wanted me to have a vendor shirt. So maybe they
see.
And I mean, just like going to Aspire and coming back with the swag from all the booths, even if we don't use them, like I gather all that and then I just put them out for our clinical folks to pick through. They get real excited. Like it doesn't have to necessarily tie into something you use, or it doesn't have to be something where they might not buy this for themselves, but if you're putting it out there for free for them, boy, howdy, will they like it.
They'll take it. Yeah.
Maybe. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, when it comes to swag, I'm like also if I see swag, if it's there and I can take it, I'm taking it. I've said this plenty of times, like whether it's at the, Aspire conference, or it's at some other conference, or maybe like it's offered to me, or I'm at an event and there's leftover swag. If it's offered, I'm taking it because I know I can use it. Or even, as an insider, as a community Hall of Famer, just so you guys know. But even as those, I'm invited to events and there's swag, right? And so I'm taking it. And then they'll send me gifts, right? Like one time I got sent a Kindle, which is like super cool, but I didn't need a Kindle. So I took that Kindle and I created a massive like competition type thing and I gave away a Kindle. And so, I mean, I just use those things to my advantage.
I think that's a really good point because I go to I think we all go to conferences and get invited places and people give us swag.
Mhm.
I'm never really thinking about taking more than what's allotted for me as a single person. And that's just my mentality. I'm usually looking for socks. Let's be clear.
Thoughts?
Socks. Oh, the way to Veronica's
always
heart.
looking for-
Socks.
Noted.
Noted.
And
Yep.
I always like food. So I can't
Yeah.
take back food. So if you invite me to eat something, I'm there, drink something. But I do think that I like what you both said. I think you and Dalton, like everybody likes free stuff. And even if you come back with the swag and you put that into your whatever your adoption strategy is, especially I think about power banks. Like everybody at my company,
Oh, yeah.
the power bank, like to take places, or a jump drive. Believe it or not, people still want jump drives. I love it. So I think that would be, you're going to come on as sock puppets. What they can't see is the comments that are being made. I do love socks. I'm obsessed with socks.
I like the socks puppet, the idea. That's awesome. Yes.
Can mine have a mustache? I just
No.
mine.
I think Andy laid claim to the only mustache on this group here.
Mustache.
Sorry,
He
Dalton.
can have it. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think isn't what I like is that I like the ideas you both did. I'm curious, we've talked a lot and Arieshia's kind of shared her stories and what they're doing. Dalton, you shared a little bit from a nonprofit perspective. We've all kind of been playing in this space for a while. What other things have maybe you done, Cheryl, or what have you done, Andy, at your company to kind of increase adoption as you've been rolling out technologies?
So there's something that we do at our company where using platform configuration added in a UKG data audit field, right? Where we have people go in and they have to update, check your address, check everything, make sure it looks good, and then you put the data in. So it's something that we can report on. It's not as fun and sexy as Arieshia would say, but it's a way, right? The data side of us where we can go in and we can check it and see how often people are going in to make sure they're especially our global population where we're not running payroll, we got to make sure their data is correct.
Data fields can be sexy, Cheryl.
Thank you. That's why we do what we do, right? I love it.
Yeah, and for us, another one too, besides me forcibly walking around in cubicles and making sure people go in and use the system and understand what it can do. But lunch and learns is always a good idea as well.
Mm-hmm.
Arieshia, I loved your idea of creating some sort of a monthly calendar. That way it keeps it fresh, it keeps it new, keeps it exciting. Lunch and learns are another way of doing that. It kind of showcases us as HCM admins, the things that we do to the organization, but more importantly, what a system like UKG can do for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an important piece of the user adoption method is what's in it for me. And if you can prove that point, if you can tell that story, then it's a win for everybody.
Absolutely. I think if when this gets posted, when we do it at least in community, I think, Arieshia, we should post the presentation you did in community because there's so much that you did with ideas, with budget, without budget, that we're not able to show here, right? So I think that would be a nice supplement to this as well.
And even maybe a little poll, right, about top 5 adoption strategies that are winning and that can win for your organization. Because I think remembering the different sectors, the sizes of your organization are so key and important. But I'm with you, Cheryl. People want to see it. They want to be able to say, I don't know if this will work, but is there a way, like, what's the little plan that got you there? Because what Andy said is like, I've done happy hours, believe it or not, and they actually worked. People show up.
Really?
Just rub it in. Veronica, just pour a little salt in her wound there. Yeah.
Beyonce, I just wanted to point that out there.
Look you.
But Andy said the same thing. What I hadn't thought is like even the lunch and learn. So we are always scheduling a calendar out of adoption. But one of the things I find that works well, and you guys know this, Arieshia doesn't, is it doesn't work for everybody, but I'm a face-to-face gal. I love a good town hall. I love coupling adoption with a toolbox talk or things. And I might not always have swag, but I love to bring I make them bring donuts or something. But more importantly, I'm like you, it's like the hype man. Like you're trying to get as many people excited. But when you can't go on site, when you can't spend any money, when you can't do all the things, there's still stuff you can do. Right. I think that's
absolutely
what I hear you saying is it's like you're going to have some limitations no matter what you do. You can still do something because at the end of the day, we all know we can implement any product we want, but if they don't adopt it, we've all wasted the money of the company. Period.
Right. And I'll tell you this, like, in the beginning, you think user adoption, we're implementing user adoption. I'll tell you, we have been live since 2020 and I'm still using user adoption strategies. Next week, actually, I had this crazy idea. I've had it for about a year and I'm finally seeing it come into fruition. But next week, I'm hosting a 2-day internal virtual conference type refresher training for my HR payroll folks, leadership, executive leadership, and managers. Anybody who has any set of level of security above an employee is invited. And what I'm doing is I'm partnering, it's my team and the payroll manager. And I've created 6 sessions a day. They are duplicative. So they can just basically, they have the option to join one day or the other. So there's 12 total sessions. Plus each morning there is a welcome to day 1, welcome to day 2 kickoff. And the topics are like, okay, payroll processing, everything you need to know. Right. And then you have WFM, data views, and reporting. We use agency staffing. So I have one total dedicated to agency staff, how to manage them in the system, how to pull labor reports in real time. And then I have like HR actions, I have HCM reporting, and it's designated sessions, right? I created this cute agenda, like a conference agenda. And then I use Microsoft Teams and I use the webinars portion, and I created a webinar for each session. So they have to literally register for the session they want to, get it on their schedule, and then it's a webinar hosted one. So they have like the Q&A options, and then they have, the chat, they can raise their hand, they can do all the fun stuff. It's going to be recorded. And so it's actually very elaborate, and I'm hopeful that it's going to work. I looked at the registration and I have about 40 participants registered for each session. So I'll have to let you guys know how it goes. But that's another thing.
I want the plan, man. I've done something similar, but I'm literally taking notes. That is like
we can post this too. I'm happy to
sorry,
post this.
I'm excited.
Well, you know what I did, which I'm very excited about? I used ChatGPT to create. Okay, so I literally said, give me bullet points. This is what we're going to talk about. It's payroll processing. We need to know everything about payroll processing with UKG or whatever. And it gave me the bullet points. And it literally broke down exactly what we wanted to cover using our summary. And so I use that as my talking points. And then my pages, because I use the webinar, there's landing pages. So I set up this cute, refresher hosted by HRI support, and the attendee, the targeted audience is there, and the bullet points, and then it even has a session for the speakers and our faces. It's a real live conference. Wow. But it's internal, so we're going to see how it goes. We haven't done anything like this before.
Yeah, please keep us posted on that. That sounds amazing.
Sounds exciting.
I'll share it also. Yeah.
Before we go much further, I do think that we need to go ahead and slip the word of the episode into this podcast. So for those of you who are first-time listeners, the word of the episode is... Sorry, Andy's whispering at what he wants it to be. So every podcast we go ahead and put a word of the episode in. The word of the episode is an answer to one of our quiz questions for the upcoming month's meeting and quiz, which means that you get a question for free. You already know what it is, and that's one step closer to being the winner of a gift card. So what do we think? I saw what Andy was whispering.
I think it's mustache, right? Yeah. Is that where you're going for?
That's what he's whispering.
No, it's not mustache.
what I was going to do is I was going to go ahead and say I think that we should go ahead and let our guest choose. Arieshia, it has to tie into something that we've talked about. It has to be one word long, but we're looking for something just a little different from just like adoption, something that they won't get from the title.
Right. That they have to listen to pick up.
Exactly. So
she's got her serious face on.
Okay, because you already know what I'm thinking. You already know what I think the word should be.
I don't know.
I do. I have some theories. Yes.
What's the word? What do you think it is?
I don't even want to say it out loud because I don't.
Yeah.
No, it's not a bad one. But I just wanted, so it doesn't have to do with user adoption, just the episode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just this episode.
Absolutely.
The word is Beyonce.
Okay. Didn't you know it? Say that. Yes. Do it.
Veronica and I are high-fiving. That's 10. High 10.
No, that means we're Michelle and Kelly. I'm Kelly then, because I'm done. I'm not going to be Michelle.
So the word be Destiny's Child? Oh, it can't be 2 words.
No, one word.
No, it's
word of the episode.
It's Beyonce.
There you go, yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, y'all heard it here from our guest, Arieshia. The word of the episode is Beyonce. So remember, that will go ahead and bring you one step closer to being the winner of a gift card. All right. Back to business, folks.
I think we're getting close. I mean, is there anything else? Horror stories, things that we want to talk about, winning ideas, things to steer away from? I think we've heard a lot of really, really cool ideas. We've got some tips and tricks. I only one thing I say steer away from, and I think you said it. You said, I think people feel like, but I believe it's a known. Everybody wants to know what's in it for me. So in my clear steer comment is user adoption is not about you. And as the system owner, like I hear a lot of system owners that care about how it makes them feel, but at the end of the day, there's a myriad of users at varying levels. So for me, steer away from how's it going to make your life easier and focus on what can your people, be it administrators, employees, leaders, and every one of them has a what's in it for me. So when you're thinking about adoption, figure out what that is and don't just be sitting over and say, well, I just was trying to save 10 minutes on my desk. Or I think I really like when we get sweatbands, even though no one else wants a sweatband. Like really think about what your business and what your people want. I think you'll be winning. That'd be my one, like, don't do that.
The word that is so good. The word that I kept coming to mind was perspective. I think it's so easy to think about what we need, but I oftentimes put myself in their shoes. What are they doing all day long? Whether it's our frontline employees or my HR payroll staff, my managers, executive leadership, right? We have 50 nursing homes in 6 operating states, right? And they're busy. They're taking care of residents. And so I often have to think, I guess UKG isn't their only priority. Like it's my priority. This is what I do for work, but this is not at the top of their list. So I often have to consider that. But then, when it comes to an employee who's waiting for their W-2, that is at the top of their list because they need their W-2. So I'm trying to have better perspective when I need something done.
Well, especially with your population and same with you, Dalton, and I guess with a lot of them is they are not sitting in front of a computer all day. Right. So getting that engagement is a little bit more difficult. Right. So props to you for your creativity and getting that. Yeah.
I'm doing my best, Cheryl.
You're doing an amazing job. And I love your energy. I said it at the beginning of the podcast, but it's infectious and I love it. Yes.
That's good. You should make sure you tell my mom.
Or Hannah, I'll tell her. Have her listen to this. Yeah.
Yeah. Just send her the podcast.
Yeah, just send her the podcast.
I'm so excited.
Dalton, Andy, anything else from your perspective maybe you want to add to for the users or the listeners?
I would say make sure that you have that buy-in from leadership, that they're going to champion it. To be very unspecific, we tried to go ahead and roll out a scheduling software, and we thought that there was such a clamor for it. And then when we brought it and got it approved, the decision was, yes, we can go ahead and roll it out. We're not going to make it mandatory. And the moment that leadership was like, yeah, we don't care enough to make it mandatory was the moment that like maybe 1/6 of the population that should be using it is, even though it would truly make scheduling like 1,000,000 times easier for everyone involved. The thought was, I have everything else to do. Why do I need to learn this? It's optional. Great, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So get that buy-in early.
Mm-hmm.
I said it before and I'll say it again. It's the what is it? What's in it for me type thing. And it's not necessarily just the swag, but this is a tool, a useful tool for you, either as an employee or as a leader or as HR, in order to make a difference. And stressing those points and making that the central aspect of your user adoption most important.
Yeah,
Keep it
I have
short.
one more tip to leave with. Can I leave one more tip?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have found, and I always have this in the back of my head, I will give the users like this is my analogy. I will give them a blue crayon, okay, and I'll tell them to go color with it. And then I turn around and they have a red crayon. And I'm like, what is happening? Where did you get that red crayon? I gave you a blue crayon. So my goal is always, if I give them a blue crayon, they use the blue one. So how can I make sure to translate that? So I always think about that, and I try not to use my technical terminology. I try to make it as simple as possible so that if I give them this, they use this and nothing else.
Good.
Yeah.
I think this was good. I think it's going to help a lot of folks. I think you've brought some really good information and tips to the podcast. And we're on our road to 500. So share, listen, subscribe with as many people as possible so that you can not only hear us cut up for a good half hour, but also learn some stuff
Mhm.
to help us to gain a better following. Ta-da! So,
And
Love it.
thank you very much, Arieshia, for your time today, for joining us, for insight or for imparting so much insightful information on user adoption. Hopefully we'll not only see you around in the user group some more, but maybe see you as a presenter in front of it. I know it's been a little bit of talk of that, so we'll just sort of sprinkle that in as a little
Yes,
something
let's
there for the
manifest.
listeners.
We're
Ooh,
manifesting.
yes, we
We're
are manifesting it. Yes.
Thank you for having me, you guys. This was so much fun. I needed some fun today.
Good.
well, Dom?
All right. Well, with that, this has been a Chicago Users Production, logging off. Thanks all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.